All right, here with Fluffy. Congrats on a victory after a pretty epic game. Yeah,
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was a great game. Very enjoyable indeed.
Raga could not retake you.
It's a bit of an epic battle, yeah.
Yeah, at the end, I feel like 5 more turns, and like I feel like I either should have attacked 15 years earlier or 10 years earlier than I did, or 5 years later when everything was ready, and just could have swept through
Yeah,
here with cataphracts. But I had
yes.
no choice because victory points. So I couldn't wait 5 years later, so it needed to be 10 years earlier. I just didn't realize how quickly you were going to tick up, I guess, Greece culture.
Yeah, and I went heavy into wonders,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's ridiculous stone income.
Yeah, I guess you just worried the hell out of all this land here, and I did not really do that because I lost this city and that sort of shut that down, and I didn't settle these until pretty late. Quarries are so important in this game. There's never enough stone. So
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like quarries and mines, always good to build lots of. I think we both recorded post-game turns. I went through graphs in mine, as did you, I believe, in
Yes.
yours. Anything you want to highlight out of these?
Well, I mean that's so much. I mean it was quite interesting. You did quite well on resources. Certainly iron and food. I guess you had a bit of a mid-game slump for food when the price started spiking.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't have orders to deal with workers. I had to deal with Thracian led by hero rulers that were launch offensive at my cities, so economy kind of suffered. And then I
Yeah,
really focused on it, and I came back later. I was feeling pretty good. So.
the resource prices I think are quite interesting. Wood is the
Yeah,
cheapest resource and food is the most expensive, which is not what you
not
necessarily
usually
normally see.
see. Yeah, I think I actually did the hunt at one point in Parsa.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw
Because I
that.
was like, I need food, and this is a good source of food.
It was like 300 food, wasn't it? It was
Yeah,
pretty decent.
yeah,
Good.
yeah.
But
Prices just
yeah,
get expensive. So go ahead.
it's, yeah, I think I just managed to leap ahead in cities, and he just never recovered the tempo from that.
Yeah, you were at 17 to my 9, I think. So well, interesting. I got a legendary city well before you. So Gordium,
Yes.
which was just printing culture. I actually did the perfect layout for an amphitheater too. So
Oh yeah, perfect. Very nice.
I
Yeah,
usually don't care. So
I'm not sure I built any. I just don't build
yeah,
amphitheaters or
I don't
engines
think they're.
that
I
make me
don't think
feel.
they're. I don't think they're worth it. Honestly, I was playing around with it as a culture sort of boosting thing, and it worked well here. But like, they take so much stone, and your stone is used better for garrisons or for barracks. So
I mean, the elder poets are right. Yeah. You didn't have any elder poets in the end, did no?
I did.
Would have.
Did
Well,
I? No, I had an elder
not in
monk.
your
I did not
legendary
have an
city
elder
anyway.
book. No, no, I did not build an elder poet. Never had the tempo to do it. And I went elder monk and stonecutter instead. So
But yeah, I guess you didn't really have the growth. I think that's another thing
yeah,
that stood out. Your growth was pretty low. Although I guess that's partially just from having a lot less
fewer
cities.
cities. Yeah, especially since growth scales. Early younger cities are better. Yeah, I should have gotten a priest here at some point. Parsa really could have taken off with production had I done that. Lots
Your
of.
Oh, sorry,
Go
carry on.
ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say your families are all happy, aren't they?
Yeah, everyone's doing great.
Yeah,
Um,
mine
a little bit at the
are.
end, but
I've
like
got one furious and two angry families.
you can see, everyone's pretty much rocking around in the 400s for a long time. So the lowest got was 39 here, I think, because they weren't the right religion and they kept. Yeah, they went to Mankism for reasons that I don't really understand. I don't understand how family religion goes. I know the pointwise system, but like, why are they converting to a religion that literally is in 3 of my cities as opposed to the religion that is in all of my cities?
Yes, it's a
I
bit.
guess this is the holy site, so
Yeah,
then I
certainly.
misclicked, or I forgot. I accidentally found a paganism here instead of here. I guess I started the shrine first, and but this like they completed the same turn. So I guess even though this one was started first, this one went off first. I don't know. So I'm not actually keen on shrines. I don't think it's worth the effort personally, and like having competing religions is never good. So
Yeah, I mean, I've got 3 families, all of 3 different religions, none
yeah,
of whom particularly like me, which is
it's horrible to maintain. Yeah. Yeah, the Tribal Alliance definitely decided this game. I feel like had you not allied with the tribes and then launched offensive at me, like, of course, had you also realized double victory was off at early, that may have
yes,
influenced the
made a
game as
difference.
well. So
But yeah, that the tribes were huge, definitely for taking Rago and Zadrakata initially.
yeah.
And yeah, I learned some things there. Learned you can't take cooldown off tribal units with a launch offensive.
Oh, really? They
Didn't
don't
know
reset?
that. No, they do not.
Oh,
Yes, because I only had my 1 warrior and everyone else was tribals. I was thinking,
oh,
right, I'll get a great offensive. No, not quite so good. But
I see. I
turned out it
didn't.
didn't matter.
Yeah, it didn't matter. You had enough, and they Thracians,
They had
the
enough. Yeah,
Highlanders, and there's hills here. They're just terrifying because that's like,
yeah,
yeah, it's kind of
very
scary.
strong.
I got lucky with the peace event, which I took immediately, because otherwise I think I was just dead. Because you would have just poured all you had. There were so many units there.
There were a lot. I mean, you had Paultons at that point, didn't you? So I think you probably could have managed to. A credit
Yeah,
to
it would
you.
have been really rough though, and like that let me get a breather and actually get up to Cataphract Archers, which I should have attacked with earlier. But I didn't really have a coherent plan apart from like get Cataphract Archers and get Barding, but that is not a viable plan. So
Did you ever think about coming around the bottom? I was paranoid you were going to just bypass all my defenses at the top and just come
I
for
thought
the
about it, but I had no real way. I was like, I'm gonna have a Byreme chain that you're gonna come and kill with your superior Byreme numbers, and
yeah.
then
I
like
mean, sure, but I mean, you had the cavalry. You could have
I could have just walked
wandered
across,
over
I
in
guess.
3 or 4
I
turns.
figured you had vision here, so
Oh
like
yeah, I would have
if I
seen
did
it. I
that,
would have seen
you
it
would have just
definitely.
attacked in, and then like I did not have troops for both lines. I agree with you that onagers might have been a better idea than ballista, but onagers honestly I don't think would have made a difference either. I think just attacking earlier with cataphract archers.
Yeah,
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 I could have
probably
marched
did.
across here, but I didn't have anything to march with, so I was sending everything north. Yeah, maybe I should have tried attacking here. I don't know. I feel like that would have just caused you to push into here, which, like, I was terrified you were going to just start pushing. I mean, these forts, I assumed you were going to put onagers into them and start pummeling my city.
No, no, never dreamed of attacking you once you had cat archers. I thought, well,
Yeah,
it's just not going to happen. I just need to stay away from
yeah, yeah,
sentinel bonus way
yeah.
too
It's so
scary.
good. I actually like it better than the rider bonus because it's a lot easier to get to deal with on these units.
Yeah,
It's just always on. You don't need to worry about flanking. Although the rider bonus, I think in retrospect, I actually am liking Hunter Rider Cleric for Persia and just dropping Statesmen. It does hurt your order economy a little bit, but
yeah, and you
Decree
had
is not that great. And
good
well,
civics output as well, though. I mean,
yeah,
that was helping your inquiries certainly, wasn't it?
53 and 21 here, and 16 here, and 20 here. So
Yeah, and you've
these
got
forces.
what five base civics plus
Yeah, the Statesmen do have really
getting
great.
on for 100%.
Yeah, they have really great base civics, which is I don't know. I keep going back and forth whether I like statesmen or riders as the third Persia civ or third Persia nation. Hunters you have to take, clerics you have to take because monotheism is just monasticism is too strong. So and just having that early religion, everyone be that religion and having that religion spread so that you have the guaranteed orders. It's just really really nice.
Yeah, yeah, you certainly got the order advantage in this game,
Yeah,
as
consistently.
expected.
Yeah, like pretty much the entire game. And I don't think I ever abused orators, which is even more absurd. Um, yeah, you definitely
Yeah,
quarried hard. Go ahead.
I do think it's interesting. We had a very similar military score pretty much the entire game. I
Yeah.
mean, just matches. You had a
Yep.
brief advantage.
Even when we're fighting, we're going down very similar. So
Yeah.
I felt it was a pretty equal fight. Although I felt I was turning the tide here.
See,
And
I'm not sure. You definitely. Yeah, I think I could have held out. I think I've got more people coming up.
Yeah, I mean that the problem is
doing
you've
all
got a
right.
much longer reinforcement line than I have, so
Yeah,
and
but I
I
have
have
got
hold
the
it. I have
coastal. I have got the coastal transport, so it's
yeah,
actually not that far to get
that's
people
true.
up.
That's true. Although no coastal link here for some reason, so
Yeah, he popped out to
fight my Byrene.
yeah, come and attack you.
Yeah, but yeah, I was pumping out cataphract archers every turn. I mean, I was trapped between inquiry and cataphract archers. Probably should have gone all in earlier. I thought I could sneak barding in and then just go to town. But yeah,
Nice stream. But yeah, it's funny going for a double victory and then too late
yeah,
realizing that it's not enabled.
yeah. I did have it. I don't. I personally do not like double victory because it feels so. It just feels horrible when you lose to it, and it's like, oh, okay. It just feels. I don't know. I just don't like it. Feels
Yeah, it's probably not ideal for multiplayer games,
feels
I
very
guess.
gamey. Where it's
It's
like,
more
oh,
designed
cool.
for single player.
I get an arbitrary number of points and I win. Congrats. It's like, oh, my armies are about to crush you, but you were you okay. So
I
point
mean, I
victory, I
guess
think, is fine. So
yeah, I mean, I guess it's you could argue it's the same. You could argue ambition victory is the same as well. It's
yeah,
maybe it should all be disabled apart from pure military defeat.
maybe
But,
I would definitely make this game interesting in that you would have been incentivized to attack me, so instead of just sit back and win on points. Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we hadn't had points on.
I
I
mean, it
still
just
don't think I would have been keen on attacking you. I guess I would have slowly pushed forward with the onages
yeah.
more than
I think you
would
would have
to
pushed forward
do
and
that.
like I don't know. Playing without points would be really interesting. I've never tried a game without point victory on, so.
Have you actually won many games by point victory? I'm not sure I have.
A couple, but not too many. Yeah, usually it's well decided before then. It's like, well, you've got 5 chariots and I have nothing. Cool. Congrats.
Yeah, you certainly get to a point where it's
Or
okay.
like my game with Vovo where
Pointless
he just
continuing now.
rolls in with like 9 horsemen. And I'm like, okay, well, I can't get units to that. I'm just going to lose cities and slowly bleed out because it's very hard to come from behind in this game. So, and once there's critical mass, it's just like, well,
Yeah, but this was an interesting exception in that we never really had a decisive swing one way or the other.
yeah, I mean, I think those are the more enjoyable / fun games of Old World, where it's like, oh, I don't have quite enough, you don't have quite enough, and we just keep like there was definitely back and forth, right? I lost these cities, recaptured this one, almost recaptured this one, except for you rushed units in, had that militia in there that I thought I was going to take out. Like I was literally a turn or two away from taking the city, and then you reinforced and had a hero unit general, leader general with it. I'm like, well, I'm going to back off because I cannot take that city right now. That hero is so terrifying because those like launch offensive is just brutal.
Yes. Hero is still amazing.
Yeah.
Even though Orator has somewhat stolen their limelight.
Yeah, I was running Scholar pretty much the entire game, I think. Not sure where I can see my history. Okay, here. Schemer, Scholar. So she was amazing. Robust Scholar. Just
nice.
with Shield Bearer, which was great against the Thracians since they're all ranged units. And a Warlike Scholar as well. So
Oh yeah, Warlike is amazing trait.
yeah.
Yeah, so I had Commander, Orator, Hero, Zealot, and then nothing.
The Zealot I was scared of because I was like, oh no, all your units can move an extra. Zealot's actually really, really strong as well. So
yeah, that was nice. Even though she only lasted 5 turns.
yeah.
It's rough when people die that quickly.
Yeah, I try to use the imprison trick. I think Frederick pointed this out to me, where I'll use my Chancellor to imprison the next heir. So if I want the second heir to inherit, and then I release them after that. And apart from a 20% chance of them getting slighted, there's really no downside to it. I feel like it should be patched. Because it is kind of just exploitative in the sense that it's like, oh, well, I'll let my grandson inherit instead of his father. So
yeah, maybe.
Because it's really rough having a very young, like the worst thing is to have someone inherit at like 50 or 60 and then have them die in 5 years because it's just like legitimacy spiral is really negative. And
The worst thing is having a 37-year-old inherit and then having them die immediately.
Yeah,
No,
that's not
that's
not good either. Yeah.
Dear. Like
Yeah.
our game with Filthy and Soren. I'm still smarting about that.
Yeah.
I think it was 1 year he lasted.
1 year, and like, were you actually able to? We never found out whether you can launch offensive allied units, right? Because he died. So
Right. Yeah. That's too quick.
yeah,
Crazy.
not sure how I feel about like some of the ambitions. Like 8 governors is actually kind of hard to pull off because like there's so many better uses for civics than like adding a governor to like this crappy city that is just a resource farm. So
Yeah, certainly hard to pull off when you haven't got that many cities.
yeah, and like I'm not assigning a 65-year-old governor. That's yeah, I would have had to, I think, get a garrison here, which stone was just super tight for me the entire game because I just did not have enough quarries.
Yeah, I only really went into it, I don't know, 30 or so turns ago. I decided that was how I was going to win when I couldn't get a double.
Points,
Just
yeah.
absolutely quarried everywhere.
Yep, points, and then just wonders. And
Yeah,
yeah,
so I've got 2,500 stone in reserve at the moment, getting 300 a turn.
yeah, that's just
It's too much, but
it feels good though because it gives you a lot of economic freedom in terms of being able to build anything. I think like 300, 200 or 300 of any resource a turn is just sweet. It's like you're good. You can do whatever you want. So 100 feels a little tight. So
yeah.
it is interesting. I can move the Thracians around in my territory. So there were a couple turns later on where I was like trying to make sure I occupied open tiles in your territory and then bumped Thracians back further into my lines because I can move them in my territory but not in yours.
Right, that's interesting because I
And
wasn't
not
sure
in
about
neutral.
that. So I was using them to block, and then I thought, hang on a minute, can you actually just bump them out of the way?
I can bump them if I'm in my lands. I can't bump them in
Right.
neutral and I can't bump them in yours. So
Okay. Makes sense.
like this guy's blocking, but if there was a guy here, I can just move a guy here and I'll move somewhere else. So because I'm at peace with them. So I feel like that event should not fire when they're at war with their national. Like I shouldn't have gotten a peace event when you're in a tribal alliance with them. So
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's interesting because Soren has said that that's how he wanted tribal alliances to work. It's that they do actually mirror your status. So they'd always war. But obviously that isn't how it works at the moment. Not quite sure why
yeah.
that isn't.
And then there's the bug that you
Climate
can't
change.
ask them to reattack, which I think would have probably been decisive in this game. So because you could have just redeclared and then it's like, well, I'm fighting a losing battle. And they hurt really badly. So
Yeah, that's so
especially
strange.
on a hill. So and like this city, there's so many hills. I never founded this city. So yeah, my entire game plan just got disrupted by that because I was like, okay, I've cleared out, and then I think you told me you're like, oh yeah, there's no worries, and I was like, okay, cool, good. They won't attack me, and then you attacked. Similar to me being cheeky with a scout, and you're like, oh yeah, you have another turn. I'm like, okay, I believe you. Nope.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, because you said you didn't have any visibility. Did you not build another scout?
I have some other scouts, but I built them way later. So since I didn't have riders, I never had a second scout. So I had to hard build scouts. That's the other downside of not starting with riders. So
yeah, always hard to fit in another scout
mm-hmm.
until you get spies. Anyway, I assume you had a decent amount of spies in my.
I only had 2. I only had one in Pella and Felipe. I never had tempo to get a scout all the way over to your cities to get. I just never had a chance. I had to scout down here watching for the southern attack in case that would happen. And then, yeah, did not really have movement because I would have had to like daisy chain my way over and like agent. And then like I think you now pop out outside cities closer, so it's actually really hard to penetrate deep into the lines. I think your scouts got here early enough that it didn't matter.
Yeah, so I've got 5 agents, so getting about 17 science turn between them. Not a great haul.
And some decent civics, I'm sure, from Gordium. So.
Yes, 5. I've actually got a -2 discipline, -2 charisma agent probably not the best choice.
Yeah, I feel like I never have enough agent capabilities. There's just never enough people who are good agents. So I have my spy master, or agent, spy master, agent, and then one extra guy that I could have made an agent somewhere, but never had the tempo. So it's hard to prioritize, especially like where to even get the agent. So
yeah, I guess it depends what families you're playing, how many
yeah,
schemers you get.
yeah,
One of the best things about Babylon is they're never short on schemers.
no. Although kind of sucks because judges are actually really, really good. So yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring up a boat here, pump out another boat, try to fight here, and especially with my range units actually dealing significant damage to your boats. So
yeah, I was looking at that last turn. Yeah,
8
because there
base.
was you killed a Barium last turn, didn't you? It was
Yeah, I did.
10 damage.
Yeah. So
Insane.
planning to kill another one this turn, but well. Because if I can get a Byreme here and then start attacking on both sides, oh, we're in business. Because this was horrible. I just could not, like, I had to go. You saw me go into the polar regions to attack.
Yeah, and again, I wondered if you were going to come on to the next city and try and take Heraclea out. Might have been again, but just bypassing all the fortifications.
Maybe. I feel like you could have easily, like, the problem is I would have gotten shelled, and then like a couple spearmen moving north, whatever. Suddenly I'm fighting in horrible terrain with nowhere to retreat.
Yeah,
So,
it's tricky. It would have been a do or die, certainly.
yeah, I wanted to have reinforcement lines, so it was like I have to take Raga. Just needed to hit earlier. But I'm not sure that would have made a difference. So it's definitely a fun game. Really enjoyable. Definitely memorable. The tribal alliance alone is just like, what?
Yeah. Very fun game indeed.
Yeah. Congrats again on the victory and good luck in the rest of the tournament. I'm glad we counted this one as a tournament game because 104 earns is a lot. So
yes. Yeah.
And excited to see it from your perspective as well. So since we did record this one. Which is always nice because sometimes you record a game and you're like, well, I'm not posting this one because that was not interesting at all. But this one has some back and forth. So awesome. Anything else you wanted to comment on, share? Or thoughts on?
I don't think so, no. Yeah, as you said, it was just it's all about the timing, isn't it? It's always the case.
Yeah. Looks like you got these fishers and you unified. I think I was going to unify, but then you had the Byremes come over, and so I was like, I'm not gonna build a worker because I was terrified you were gonna like just pillage these. You never ended up pillaging them.
You know what? That never occurred to me. I probably should have done.
It is really devastating because I think statesmen get angry if something's pillaged as well, so it just spirals badly. And like this is actually a lot, right? This is 40 science specialist as well. Like you lose the specialist if I don't have naval supremacy, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to fight. Like if you have 3 Byremes here and I can only make, like I could try to line up all 3 of my cities to make a Byreme and like at that point, like try to coordinate them. But you're going to see them pop out and you can kill them, right? Like I'm already, like I will never have critical mass to get Byremes to catch up if you have 3.
I don't know. I think you could have done, because I mean you did have enough Pultons and then Cataphracts to actually kill a Byreme.
Yeah, that's true. I could. I did kill. Yeah, that one. I was like,
I think that's partly why I never came back and tried to harass too much.
But I needed to get this coastal movement connected, and I never did. So like it was really awkward. Like, you somehow managed to connect these folks. I'm not sure. I guess you got this nets. You built a specialist in there, and that connected, and then I just never got
specialists everywhere, and the
urban
building.
You went very heavy on specialists. 49.
Yeah.
Stonecutters? Are those aren't all marble, they're just base, like plain stonecutters?
They're just base stonecutters. They were mainly later when I did my Mad Quarry Rush, and then I just didn't have much else worth building, so just bunged them in.
Yeah. It makes sense. I think my specialist, I'm increasingly convinced about like luxury specialists are actually really good because using the luxury to send the luxury to a city. I think I sent luxuries here. Yeah, actually see. That's interesting. I'm pretty sure there's luxuries being received by this city. Maybe not. Or maybe I sent them down here. Yeah, I sent luxuries here because you get 2 culture, which if you don't build Odeons is actually really efficient.
Do you use the new luxury management panel?
Sometimes. I'm just used to the old way of doing it. So yeah, this is actually those dies are giving me three culture a turn, which is like super Odeon, right? So
yeah, it's not bad.
I also really like temples and orthodoxy. Doctrine is actually really strong now with the rushing with orders because it lets you ping pong back and forth between like military turns where you have no orders left and you just need, and then when some of my troops died and suddenly I had more orders than I had troops, I could just orthodoxy to get more troops back, and that was great. Really like that dynamic.
Yeah, again, it's something I never ever go for orthodoxy.
You always do tolerance, or you just never get doctrine? So
I just never get to doctrine. It just doesn't seem, it's a dead end on the tech tree.
It is, but when you start with clerics, you get monasticism, so doctrine is almost always will be available very easily, and temples are actually really good, especially in a cleric city because they are 2 orders each. Like this temple is plus 6 culture, 2 orders, because clerics have 100% returns, right? So
yeah, so it's 100% for clerics, but you normally get half an order. So
right, but I have revelation, which gives plus 0.5 orders.
Right. Oh, I see, and that's getting doubled as well.
That's getting doubled as well. So
nice. Okay.
So 6 culture and 2 orders is huge.
That does seem pretty good.
It makes clerics. That's why I'm saying like I'm considering dropping statesmen for riders instead, because like clerics with temples are like better than statesmen. They're equivalent to the statesman with temple because the statesman get 1 natural and 1 order from the temple, or cleric gets 2 from the temple, and no natural. And like I'd rather have the extra training production from rider, as well as just being able to get the flanking bonus, as well as being able to build a rider seat where there's ore but no horses, which is really awkward. And it's like you find a city with ore and no horses, and you're like, what do I do with the city? So I think it's situational, because states is also really, really strong because you can scholar spam really nicely. So
yeah, it's religion. Definitely need to play with it more, I think.
Yeah, the cleric start is actually, I think, really, really strong, just because it smooths out your orders, legalism, revelation into an early monotheism, getting monasteries up, getting doctrine relatively early, get even more orders from those temples, just really strong. And then if I had built a priest here, this would have become a training superstar city. I just never had tempo to do that. But yeah, like an elder priest would have been 7 training base into this city, which would have been huge. So, which I could have done with orders as well. That's the other nice thing about orthodoxy. You can rush without a judge.
You can rush anything.
Yep, it's just so huge. And like if you have a turn where you're just like, I'm sitting on 10 orders, you can rush the specialist along. That's great. Rush inquiries, great. Like just so good.
And as Persia, you've got the orders anyway, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
quite nicely.
I've rushed 7 inquiries in this city, so like suddenly you triple your science, right? If I'm pumping out 160 inquiry and like so civics, I think is important as well, incredibly important. So I keep going back and forth between states and riders. I think shorter games riders, longer games states. So.
Makes sense.
I think the tournament, just the maps are really small, though, relative to what I'm used to. This map was fine, but like a medium mirrored seaside is just like, hello, I'm attacking you already. What? It's turn 10. So
yeah, my game with Mojo at the moment is we've just been at each other's throats since about turn 10.
Yeah,
settled my cleric city, and he almost immediately pillaged the monastery I built, and we've just been back and forth ever since.
Yeah,
I think we're on like turn 55 now, and we've got essentially no economy, no tech.
Yeah,
just built my 4th city.
Cave people with sticks throwing things at each other. Yeah, I prefer slightly larger maps, so you have a little time to like get some sort of core cities up and running and then go to town. Because I find like getting some officers in there and like min-maxing stuff a little bit is always interesting. So
One thing I have just noticed, just looking around this map, seeing as I'm getting massive rebels at the moment, I have found that the tribal units are quite good for just
suppressing
taking care
rebels.
of rebels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just move them from their base near to your cities, and they'll just take care of them.
Yeah.
Automatically.
Oh, they oh wow, autonomously do it. That's great.
Yeah.
You just need to get them into place. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, the Thracians had a great game.
Yeah. It was weird. There's the only one tribe.
Yeah, the super omni tribe, which I feel like one tribe, maybe like a north tribe and a south tribe would have been cool, but like there's no setting in Inland Sea to let you control it, which is sad. So yeah, made for an interesting game though, but not sure how balanced it was. Because it's like, oh, you can have a tribal alliance, but I can't because you got there first, and you got diplomat into hero event. There's some event that lets you do that.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was diplomat straight into tribal alliance. 2 turns later got that. Turn later had the war, and then by that point the diplomat was gone.
Yep.
And hero was ready for a war.
Yeah. Very cool. Awesome. Well, congrats again. Really fun game. Hopefully folks watching on YouTube will enjoy it.
Cheers for the game.
Cheers. Take care.